afternoon, Mountaintop Homesteaders. Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to go through our finished cattle panel greenhouse and just go over how I put it together, what I used on it, and that type of stuff. I got the majority of the stuff at Lowe's and Amazon because we were already starting our COVID quarantine time for everybody to be on lockdown out here. So I did make one horrible Lowe's trip. Was following social distancing and any of that type of stuff, so it was pretty obnoxious, but I was able to pick up the rest of the stuff on Amazon and go from there. We still haven't been able to plant much. We actually had another freeze last night and we're in for another freeze tonight. So last night it got down to 26, and with the wind chill at 1 o'clock in the morning, I saw that it was down to 12 degrees. We were having high winds. So I'm gonna delay. I was gonna plant in a week or two. We're supposed to get back up in the 70s, but we'll see if that's even realistic. Even though we're planting in the greenhouse, I've got a couple planters up on the deck that I want to do outside of the greenhouse with some basil and extra tomato plants, along with being able to do the irrigation. We've got one greenhouse that I told you about that's got the solar panel irrigation, and then we've got the two rain barrels here that will irrigate our cattle panel greenhouse. So with the freezing temperatures and stuff, I haven't even been able to get out and get that going. But let's go ahead and start the tour of the cattle panel greenhouse, and I'll give you what updates I can on that. So we'll start on the outside here. Here's our rain barrel setup. Again, I'll be using a 110 volt pump and be able to pump from these rain barrels up to the greenhouse itself. That's the plan. Hopefully it'll work. Hopefully the pump has got enough power to do both. And then also I've got some pots up on the deck that I'll probably run a hose up to and irrigate those automatically too. But that's a later video. I'm still working on that. So I'm hoping everybody can hear okay. We've got horrible winds today with this this cold front that has come in. So starting on the outside here, the plastic that I've used, I got it off Amazon. It's a 6mm plastic. It's meant for greenhouses. It's got some type of ability to have, I don't know, some type of UV protection in it, so it'll last. It supposedly will last up to 4 years. I'm not sure with our weather up here if it'll last that long. It would be nice to get 4 years out of it because it was a real pain to put in. ends and everything. And what I did on the outside of it, I put this this laced batten type cording stuff, or I've also seen it called wind lace. We got that off of Amazon. I just went ahead and secured that in 3 spots. Being able to do that allowed me to not worry about the high winds we get up here. So far we've only had 42-mile-an-hour winds with the greenhouse up, and I had no problems at all. I had a little bit of shifting on one of the batten tapes, but it was no big deal. I secured those to the 2x6 down here with just some regular screws. When you're doing your screws, you want to make sure you get the right ones so they can be used outdoors in the elements. Second thing here, as you can see, we've got staples, and that's what I used along the whole side to be able to secure down the plastic to the 2x6. I'll show you on the inside what I used to secure the panels, but the staples seem to do good. I did double rows of staples all the way around. What I've done on the outside here to protect, which I went over with in our previous video, I've used the insulation for your piping in your house and put that on the outside, because the cattle panels are have sharp edges. So I went ahead and put a window in, a vent window, and I screened it from the inside, and I've got a stick that holds it up right now. I think that'll work best for the wind and everything we have. And then I went ahead and installed a little latch, because I didn't have a latch on there in the beginning, and somehow the wind was getting behind the window and opening the window and making it flap. I didn't want it to break. And again, I built the windows just with 2x2s, and then I used corner bracing brackets, if I can get the light, the corner bracing brackets on each corner, just to give it added strength. And again, everything is stapled. So let's go ahead and go inside. I can talk some more about this. The wind is really bad, and it's about 40 degrees out today, so it's nice and cold, which is not fun for beginning of May. So the door, same thing as the window, it's out of 2x2s, and I used corner 90-degree brackets and T-brackets to brace the middle here. And then I just went ahead and picked up a latch. All right, now we're inside nice and warm. The greenhouse stands a little under 7 foot tall, so it's really nice to be able to walk along the edges and stuff. I don't bump my head. I'm almost 6 foot, so I don't bump my head, any of that sort of thing. Here's the if I can pan down here, here's the screening I put in. I just stapled it. I'm a staple guy. It may not last with staples on, but you know, if it rips, I'll put a new one on. Very simple. It just keeps the gnats and the bugs and stuff out, so I can have the window open and not worry about it. I also did put a stop, because I didn't originally call for a stop, but I needed to have some type of stop, because then the window isn't going to come in and bang around and that sort of thing. We already did some planting in here too, so I'll go over that before I'm done here. But as you can see, you got the cattle panels up. We've used 4 of them. I overlapped in one section over here because there was no way I was gonna cut them. You can see where it's overlapped. It's only overlapped for about 6 inches or so, about 2 squares. No big deal. Of course, that did bring down the size of the greenhouse a bit. You know, just the height, just due to overlapping, but it was no big deal. Down here on the edges, I'll show you what I did, and I think I covered that in one of the previous videos too. But what I did was I put some L brackets in secured those L brackets just into the ground with a big screw. I took my mini sledge and slammed that into the ground. It's about a 4-inch lug or something like that that I put in there. The panels themselves are just secured to the 2x6 with the cattle panel staples, or just fence staples, whatever you want to call them. Just hammered those in all along. Some people like to use the wire to secure the cattle panels together. I'm not a wire guy for 2 reasons. I end up cutting my fingers a lot when I go and twist it and get it secured. And then secondly, I would have to tape the ends because I'm one of those guys that ends up rubbing my back on everything and end up ruining my clothes, snagging myself, and I don't need to be a bloody mess by the time I'm done working in the greenhouse. So it's been 10 to 20 degrees warmer in the greenhouse, I've noticed lately. The other day it was even we were about 60 degrees outside, 65, and it was 90 in both my greenhouses. So I had to come out and open the windows and vent them and stuff. I have not put my fan in yet, but I'll do that pretty soon. I'm just gonna run electricity from our first greenhouse into this greenhouse, and I'm gonna utilize this heater fan that I was using in the other greenhouse. We'll just use the fan. No need for a heater, but that's about it. Let me know if you got any questions on what I did with the greenhouse, how I built it, that sort of thing. I'll be more than happy to answer what I can. We are using the square foot method of planting in our raised bed here. So far we've got some carrots planted here. I've got 2 sections of carrots. It's 16 carrots per square foot. I think I said square inch gardening earlier. Square foot gardening. I've got 16 carrots planted in each of these 1 foot by 1 foot sections. I've also got 4 zucchini planted over here in these 2 sections. And on this other side, we've got some cucumbers planted in the 2 sections. So my next project in the greenhouse is going to be irrigation. Like I said, with the 2 rain barrels outside, I did get a Rainbird irrigation set that I will use, and it's like a starter kit, but I'm gonna go ahead and give that a shot. Some drip irrigation, and also has the ability to put in some sections that'll come off and irrigate these side pots. These pots I'm gonna put some tomatoes in these pots on the end here, and then these smaller pots I'll probably put basil and some of our hot peppers that we're growing this year. So that's the plan there. But I'd like to have an easy way to irrigate those. Fortunately, we're not going back to the office anytime soon, so it's probably going to be about 4 or 5 months before we head back to the office. So this will give me plenty of time in the evenings to work out here and get this going. Like I said earlier, I think the hardest part of doing this greenhouse was putting the top on. It was a little rough putting the edges around and getting those folded. My wife has more patience than I do, so she was able to help me with that, but I was really frustrated with how the sides came out because I was trying to get the folds perfect and have everything look just perfect when it came to doing the ends. One thing I think I'll still do on the ends is I need to be able to, I'll probably tape them where the folds are, because I'm noticing that I'm getting bugs and spiders in there. They're getting trapped, that sort of thing, and I really don't want that going on. So that'll allow me to secure those and keep them from flapping and getting bugs in them and that sort of thing. I really don't want to have that issue, but I think I'll probably use Gorilla Tape for that. I'm not sure. If anybody's got any ideas, please leave me a comment. It needs to be a waterproof tape, it needs to be a clear tape, and something that'll hold up to extreme temperatures from, let's say, 0 Fahrenheit on up to 100 plus, because we get the extremes on both sides here. So If you got any ideas, please let me know. I'm thinking Gorilla Tape, but if somebody's got a better idea or something else, then by all means. Now that I'm doing the video, I see something behind me I wanted to point out. I told you guys earlier that I'm using SmartThings. It's purchased by Samsung now, but this is SmartThings up here. And it connects in with my phone, and that's what I'm using for the irrigation also. This little guy will tell me if the greenhouse door has been opened and shut. It'll tell me temperature in the greenhouse. You can set notifications and all types of stuff. So I absolutely love our SmartThings. We've been using it for years, ever since it was a Kickstarter. I've got home automation, the lights set up. It works with Alexa, so I can tell Alexa to turn off lights, that sort of thing. But I do use these switches in both greenhouses, so I love them. Lets me know the temperature. I keep a thermometer in each greenhouse, but at least this one will allow me to look on my phone and give me notifications if we've got a extreme temperature, let's say of 100, and then I can come out and open up the doors and that sort of thing. So absolutely love it. There's no monthly subscription with SmartThings. There's a little bit of cost up front. Of course, you got to buy the hub, connect it into your Wi-Fi, and then there's an app on the phone, that sort of thing that you can utilize with it. But there's no monthly subscription, and that's great, because there's some places, some folks that are doing the home automation hubs and it's got a monthly subscription. Why? There's no need. You've got a free app. You already spent $100 plus $200 to get started and buy the lights and everything else you want with it. So it's highly recommended. I've had zero problems with it. It connects in with other hubs. I've got some other lights that I bought. It works with the Z-Wave technology, and there's all types of little gadgets to buy on Amazon that can help you out with your greenhouse, your watering. Know if you got a water problem, a water leak in your pipes in your house. You've got Wi-Fi switches, you've got motion detection switches, that sort of thing. So check them out online. It's SmartThings by Samsung now, and it's great. You can't go wrong with the money you spend on that. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video once again. Please give me a like and subscribe. Hit that little button down there. Give me a thumbs up. God bless you guys, and thanks for tuning in again on Mountaintop Homesteaders. Love you guys. God bless you.